Hello and welcome to a new series. There probably won't be many unless I get more ideas, but this is a Kaidboi Babbles of sorts, where I'm going to babble on about stuff through the use of tiermaker. Either I'll make one myself or I'll find one that's sufficient. This one is just all Marvel feature films, and I'm pretty sure series. Yeah. And there's quite a lot I haven't seen in terms of like Agents of Shield and all that, so I'll only rate the ones I've seen. I'll give my thoughts before I rank them, just so you can give a general gist of what I thought about them. But to go through it, like Triple S is like the films I find the best, or I might even change that to like my favorite film. Sometimes I can't decide, so I'll just leave it in SSS. And what I'll do is whatever's in SSS, whatever I put in front of it, like whatever's here instead of like next to it, is what I prefer over each of them. So SS is like really good films, like fantastic actually, like really good. S is like the good stuff of the films. A is like really good, so it's like enjoyable. It has depth, good writing. B is like a good watch, good action, somewhat enjoyable. C is like average-ish, like it's okay, you can watch it. D is definitely like average, below average, and E is just like bad. Or even just ass, just absolute ass. So what I'll do is I'll make another tier actually, just so I can get rid of. Oh god damn it! Delete that row. Oh god damn it! Add row below. Change this color. No, I made a mistake. Whatever. Change it to not seen. So for example, I've not seen Luke Cage. I want to watch Agent Carter. Both these. I'm assuming the seasons. I haven't seen Agents of Shield. So just put a lot of them in here. A lot of seasons of it actually. So for some reason it's starting the list off of Ant-Man and the Wasp. But what I'll do is I'll rate the first Ant-Man over it. And Ant-Man as a film, I really enjoyed. So I'll drag it up. I'm putting it here. That's not my decision. I'm just putting it here so I know it's there. Ant-Man's a really good film. It's like a heist-ish film. I like Scott as a character. He's quite relatable. He hasn't made the best decisions in life. He's been dragged into a position where he is going to now be responsible in a good way, even though he's still being a thief. The only reason he's been put in that position is because he's a thief to steal. And the new suit that the main villain of the film is making, I can't mind his name, but he's Yellow Jacket in the film. Hank Pym is a nice addition. I would have much preferred Hank Pym being introduced earlier and being responsible with Tony for Ultron, because that's how Ultron's initially made. But I do still appreciate Hank as a character. I really like him. Hope's good in the fact that you understand her struggles. The comedy in it's really good. Like it was written and was going to be directed by Edgar Wright, I believe. Then there was some creative differences where the Disney high ups were like, "You gotta have these Easter eggs. You gotta have these references to other films." And Edgar's like, "Nah, just leave me to do what I need to do. Make a good film." And you can definitely tell that there's some leftover parts about the film because it is a really good fucking film. I really enjoy it. So I'd probably put it in the S rank region. It's a good film, and has one of my favorite fight sequences in it as well. When they're fighting in the suitcase, when that song's playing from the phone they accidentally turn on. All the characters in the film I actually quite like. I like Louise is his name. Really good, really fun. You know what? I'm gonna stick it in SS because I quite enjoyed it. Good ending. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Again, not quite like the original. There's a bit more character written, less actiony. The film ends not anticlimactic, as I would say. Like not normally, like the villain isn't so much defeated as it is they're remediated. They've sorted the problem. I would say it has some of the funniest fucking moments in it, like when Scott's suit is malfunctioning for some reason, and he's like a small toddler-sized character. Even the soundtrack in both films, I really like the soundtrack. I would place. Oof, don't know if I'd place it S rank or A rank, but just to be generous, because I really like the characters and I really like the film. I like Fishburne Lawrence, is that his name, that plays Goliath. He makes an appearance. Has a really good after credit with them disappearing, so the after credit's top tier. So I'll leave it like that for now. Avengers Age of Ultron. Very mixed feelings in this film. I know there's very mixed feelings on Ant-Man and Ant-Man and the Wasp. I know a lot of people say Ant-Man. I haven't even seen Ant-Man and think it's really boring, and I still find that surprising. But Age of Ultron, you know what? Where is it? Where's the first Avengers? I'll rank that first. It's got these two next to it. Where the hell's Avengers? Where the heck is it? There it is. First Avengers, really good team up film. Sets the basis for what the foundation for what the future films will have. A lot of good character interactions, quite funny, good action sequences. I wasn't too enamored with Loki in it though. I didn't feel that greatly attached. And saying that, he's still a good character. It creates some good tense situations, like having Hawkeye be mind controlled and all that. But if I were to place Avengers anywhere on this list, I would place it as a really good A tier. Like, it's not phenomenal. I do have some problems with it. It does set like a good starting point for the Hulk, but after that, the Hulk goes downhill somewhat. However, the other thing the only real major thing I hate about this film is how monotonous the main theme is. Like, it plays like almost every fucking situation it can in the film, and it's just very simple. Like in Endgame, they play it, and it's really good. It's like an orchestral version, and they only play it near the end. It's amazing. However, Age of Ultron, I really enjoyed. The best character interactions in all the Avengers films, I would say. Like, you do enjoy them having the party. You have the wee like nod to like, oh, is Cap gonna move it? Move the hammer. There's the Hulk in the film's got some. One of my only complaints about the film is Hulk fighting Iron Man, in the sense that, right, if Iron Man can knock Hulk out and beat him, what is the point in having him in the team if he's a liability? If you have a character or a person in the team that's more dangerous to have them out than not, when you have people on the team that can still beat them, there's not much point in having them. Especially if you only need Hulk for very dangerous situations. Sure, for like, if you want to team up against somebody, but if Hulk's too dangerous, then you can't trust him. However, I feel like they could have ended the Tony versus Hulk fight with him not losing and him like regaining his like mind a bit, and he slowly turns back into Banner from seeing the destruction he's caused, because that's what he is. He's like a child who's realised his mistakes. But other than that, Ultron, I wish he was a lot more cold. He's very charismatic in this, but that's because I'll tip my hat in the sense that they made him basically Banner and Tony together instead of just how he is with Hank Pym. So I enjoyed Age of Ultron as an S-rank film. I think it's a really good watch. I enjoy it. I liked Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver in it. I liked how quickly they killed off a character with Quicksilver. They introduced Ulysses Claw. He's a really great character. Fight sequences are really good with the team up near the end in Sokovia. It is Sokovia, isn't it? Aye, something like that. But no, I think it's a really good film. Just because I don't want to rate these two too early, I will grab Iron Man. So, controversial opinion. I don't really like Iron Man that much. He's cool, sometimes funny. I don't like him as a character. I like the dynamic he has with Cap though, where like they're arguing and all that, and they both had that phrase in the first Avengers, like everything that's special about you was made up in a bottle. He said that to Cap, and then Cap says to Iron Man along the lines like, "Oh, what are you about that suit?" Obviously, like Tony replies like, "Oh, philanthropist, rich boy, whatever." But like then they prove it wrong later on. But Iron Man, I would put as a B, maybe A. You know, I'll leave it in A right now because I like Happy. I do like Pepper a bit. Obadiah is a really good character. Jeffrey Bridges is the only reason that film is as successful as it is, from what I hear. Like, he was responsible for a lot of the scenes being acted out the way they were, because Jon Favreau didn't really know what to do with the writing, because they didn't have much time, I believe. But they had the time for the CGI, which was phenomenal for the time being. 2008, the Iron Man CGI, whoa. I quite enjoyed the dynamic of, like, him in the cave. It's all good. But as a character himself, I don't like it, so that's why I would put it as like one of the best films. Maybe even because I don't like him as a character, I would have to put him to B, no matter how good the film is. Like, The Dark Knight, for an example. As great a film as it may seem, because of the Joker, I don't like Christian Bale's Batman. He doesn't fit it. He's like Nightwing as Batman. He's too skinny. He doesn't feel that. He doesn't seem that intimidating. And he's that god awful voice as well. But if your main character is not that likable, I can't really put it in a high spot. No matter how good the rest of the film is, it's an enjoyable film. I'll say that. Right. Should do Iron Man 2. Wherever the fucking shit that. Whoever's done this list and haven't done it in order is a bad. I should probably put this into order myself. I see Iron Man 3 here. I see Iron Man 2. Iron Man 2, much like the first one, I quite like. Entertaining. Good CGI. I wanted my. I liked him. I like the ending where he's the only one that's actually made a suit for himself along with the clones. One of my favorite fight sequences in the MCU actually is with Rhodey and Tony doing like the side by side in like the Japanese garden nest bit, because fun fact about that, it was storyboarded instead of just like acted out. It was storyboarded by one Gendy Tartakovsky, famously known for making the shows like Samurai Jack, Dexter, recently Primal. He's now has directed the Hotel Transylvania film, so he's a really good person in the animation industry. He's a really good director, a really good storyboard artist, hence why that fight seems so cool. It is weak in the sense that there's not much else to the film. Not much else happens. I suppose the whole all the elements killing me part of it is quite cool. And he makes a new element because of it. Is that film? Yeah, that is that film, because he makes Samuel L. Jackson that one, and Black Widow makes her first appearance. For Iron Man 3, it's a weird one. Very enjoyable film, understandable villain, but it's a cop-out version of the Mandarin, which we find out isn't the real Mandarin. That's fine. But I do like in the film when Tony hasn't got access to his suit. He has to make do with homemade stuff, which is quite cool, until a suit can finally fly to him. So I put the Iron Man trilogy in a flat line like that. I think the first one has the best acting, the best dynamics. With 2, I would say I prefer the action in it, and I do like the Rhodey versus Tony fight in it actually as well, because he's a bit fucky. I do wish they would have, in the third one, dealt more with his PTSD and maybe even alcoholism, like he did in the comics. But alas, I feel that's fair placement for me putting them there, simply for the fact I don't like the character that much. So I think it's fair enough. None of them are even average. But to get into the more gritty and possibly more controversial, I'm not sure what people's thoughts entirely on it. I know my brother hates Captain America, but I've always been a big fan of the World War times, World War One, World War Two. I always enjoyed that aesthetic. And Captain America, fantastic film of a person who had nothing but the spirit, going from that nothing to everything, to knowing, to still displaying that they're a good person and even willing to sacrifice what they have and save the world. I like all the nod. I liked Howard Stark when he was younger. He was quite charismatic. I liked Peggy. Peggy's a great character. Love to see more of her. I liked her in What If. I liked her in this. I liked the whole the music. It was really good again because it was sort of like this, like on theme to what the film is. Red Skull was an amazing villain. He's a Nazi. How could you not hate him? Good design as well for it. Created a lot of good theories for years before Infinity War came out. I, for ages, was like, Red Skull is not dead. He's been teleported somewhere else, or even across to another timeline. It wouldn't make sense for timeline because it was the Space Stone, I think, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. But I would place it. I love. The thing is, in the comics, I don't really care for Captain America, but like, Chris Evans really made the character likable, and for the character interactions and how it was perceived, I still think Captain America may be my favourite MCU film. So it's going to be the first SSS rank. However, I know it'll be way more controversial. I would put Captain America Winter Soldier right there. It is a good espionage movie. It brings back the whole Bucky thing, which is cool. But I know what it was trying to do. It just didn't hit me right. It felt like a Thor Dark World situation where it wasn't that entertaining. It did have its moments, like a lot of good action in it, like the elevator scene, him throwing his him like getting onto the Quinjet with a motorcycle. A lot of good action, but overall, it didn't feel memorable to me. I watch it, and like, it definitely had more writing and meaning than Avengers. That's for sure. That's why I'm currently got it above it. Samuel L. Jackson scenes in it were really good as well. I wish he had more of that. Hence why I'm looking forward to the new show Secret Invasion, because he's one of the main characters, I believe. But I've never been too fond of very like dark films. Like, yeah, it's dark and gritty because it's to do with the government and that. And Steve finally realizes that you can't trust it. You can't trust the government always. You can't always be patriotic. You've got to think for yourself. Which is what Tony sort of reverts into after Civil War. He used to be always skeptical, and that's another reason why I'm like, well, fuck you, Tony. You fucking, just because you're guilty doesn't mean you've got to fucking think like a fucking pussy. But yeah, like look at this. Like, in comparison, like it is a dark, dreary film, and it still feels dark and dreary, but there's a lot more color in it as well. Like, I don't like Cap's suit in it either. I'm pretty sure the fucking shield in it has been desaturated to fuck. But as much as I have to complain about it, I still recognise it's a really good film. I can watch it. I will enjoy it. So I'll place it happily in A. However, Civil War. I'm placing Civil War at the top of B. Because there's so many factors about Civil War. I get that is a lead up for Infinity War, because like, how else would you have Tony and Steve split up and fight Thanos at different times? But Civil War feels very small scale. The villain felt very underwhelming. I know it's Zemo, but Zemo like isn't just a puppet. He's more than just a puppet. He's a massive racist. They changed him completely. Like, he's supposed to be Baron Zemo, and he sort of does pick that up in the show Falcon and Winter Soldier. But I always felt it was underwhelming. It was a lot more nuanced, I understand, because that's how the Civil War started. But as I said, Civil War is supposed to be this massive on-scale event with so many people. But Civil War is so much smaller scale, which is why I think there's going to be a Civil War 2, because they've introduced She-Hulk, and one of the biggest parts of the comic event was it's a massive political war. So there's going to be things happening in the court, especially with She-Hulk. And funnily enough, Daredevil wouldn't be involved because obviously he's in the war. I feel like it's something that if they do Civil War 2, Peter will be on the other side. But as much as it goes, I feel like it's just a really good action movie. It's enjoyable just to watch from an action point of view, but I didn't feel it had that much to contribute other than that. Did introduce Spider-Man, given that, and Black Panther. But both their individual films are much better than Civil War. What next? Let's go straight into Black Panther, actually. Black Panther, really enjoyed it. Again, I'm not placing it in today, I'm just talking about it. Great to get into the culture of the film. Great that it's an all people of colour film. Of course, they had to have their token Martin Freeman in it, but I still enjoyed him. And it makes sense to have Ulysses being white because he's a trafficker. He's specifically in it for the business, and he has some of the best scenes in it. Shame he dies in it. That's one of the cons. Killmonger, one of the best Marvel villains, and Chadwick also gave a really good performance. The CGI was a bit choppy towards the adamantium vibranium train fight, mostly because it had to be cut short. I would say my overall enjoyment of it, the themes, the characters. I really liked Shuri. I loved I can't remember her name. It begins with O. Doesn't place Michonne in Walking Dead. But I would rank this as an SS. Oh, enjoyment. If they were to ever go back and re-CGI the train fight, it's easy, like easy SS rank. Like, I believe it deserves that spot. And the music in it's really good. And some of the visuals, a lot of good visuals in that film. Right. What other movies occur? Where's Thor? I have some interesting Thor thoughts. So Thor, get up here, you bastard. I think Thor is a very enjoyable film. Small scale, enjoyable. Works for a first film because instead of it all be like dramatic and shit, he is a god. You gotta understand he is a god who has went from being all powerful to being a human. So of course it's gotta be small scale and individually, and he's gotta learn to be more humane. This is where he learns humility, and that's a good thing. I do not think it's worthy of A rank, but I do think it's worthy of a B rank because it is very enjoyable to watch. It's a more nuanced fucking Thor film, very funny. You like all the characters. Loki's very, I wouldn't say understandable, but like you can, no, he's not justified, but you understand why he feels this way and why he does it. So I place it firmly in B. As for Thor 2, Dark World, wherever the hell it is, I don't get it. They got the two other 4 films next to each other here. There it is. Another reason why it's bad. Like, same problem Captain America Winter Soldier has because it's so desaturated for some reason. I'm tempted to put it even in C or D with how bad it is. It has some good moments. Like, all of the Loki stuff in it is some of the best Loki stuff you will see. Even the mother's death. But I don't know if it's worthy of C, of an average film. Because other than the good Loki parts, it's very, very dreary and boring. So I think for that, for the fact that the only good part of the film is one character, and they're not even a main character, and it's not even one of the main parts of the film, I would have to put in D, because Thor and Jane, they don't feel as charismatic, it just feels out of place. Like, even just having her inherit the reality stone and all that, Malekith isn't really, like, rememberable. I'm not that much of a Christopher Eccleston fan as I am. It just wasn't memorable, like, nothing, it was too dreary. Too dreary. However, I will put Thor Ragnarok at B. Front of the first four. Front of all the Iron Man and Civil War. I do not appreciate the humor in this film. I don't appreciate the route they went. I get why they did it, and I get why that was popular. And then people are complaining for those reasons I complained about Thor Ragnarok with Love and Thunder, which I think is a good thing. Ragnarok has a lot of good moments, but it kills Hulk's characterization in its entirety and sort of skips over what should have been World War Hulk, Planet Hulk rather. And as much as I like Taika Waititi's humor and his direction, I do feel like this film could have been better. Could have had more. Hela, one of the best parts about the film, Odin's death, Doc Strange being in it. There's a lot of memorable moments. Like Civil War, there's a lot of good moments in it, but it doesn't pull it off as much as I'd like it. Like Korg's introduced, he's one of the funniest characters, but there's too much comedy. It doesn't take itself serious enough most of the time. Even Carl Urban's character is good, but Hela's got a bit of humor, but she's quite serious. I quite like it. And she is an intimidating and powerful villain, and I like that Thor doesn't win that fight. And he acknowledges that he as a character develops in a way like I've lost quite a few times. I acknowledge I can lose. I need to stop thinking I am the strongest. I just need to continue. I just need to be a warrior instead of being too arrogant. I like that part of it. Come up with a wee plan. However, this one's a lot more controversial. I've seen a lot of people hating this film, Thor: Love and Thunder. Even though I think it's worthy of an A tier. Simply for the fact that there was a lot of writing in it that I appreciated. It is a romance film. It has to be a romance film. Like, it makes sense. I like how they dealt with Mighty Thor, being Jane. I like how they deal with, what's his name, Gore. Amazing. What I do not like about the film is how much content was cut from it. And, like, Gore's one of the few characters that there's absolutely no comedy with him. And a lot of his scenes were cut. I feel like they would have heightened the film from what it is. I would say Ragnarok and Love and Thunder have the exact same amount of comedy. Whether the comedy hits or sticks or misses, I don't care. It's still the same amount of humor, and it shouldn't have been in the film, whether you like it or not. But it's a sequel from the same director, so you've got to expect it. If you go into the film expecting that, whatever. But I really think the themes, the writing, the character dynamics are at its best in this film of all the 4 films. It just makes sense. I like how it ends. Like, Thor is a person of romance. Like, his greatest weakness is his love. Not him being strong, not him being weak, not him losing his loved ones. Actually, no, it is losing his loved ones. It is about love. He keeps losing his loved ones, and his mind keeps getting hit by it. And this film is about sort of him becoming nihilistic almost, and then coming to fruition that people die. It's fine. You just got to continue. You've got to continue for those people that lost their lives. You've got to be their passing. And I really enjoyed that aspect, and there was a lot of good writing in it. I just wished it was longer. Much like the other film that released this year that I'll talk about a bit later. Right. This is the first Hulk film. Oh god. I'll put it as a C. Easy C. I wouldn't say it's bad. Wouldn't say it's good. I'll say it's a bit average. Bad CGI. I quite liked it. It was one of those films that, like the Raimi films, the Spider-Man Raimi films, felt very 2000-y. You could see it. I'm pretty sure it was done by Danny Elfman or one of the composers, and that's why it sounds like it's got similar music. The Hulk. You enjoy the Hulk. Hulk, whatever reason Hulk form is not nuanced. It's just like he is a child with anger problems, but he's also gentle and kind when need be. And I did quite like the dynamic he had with, I can't mind her name in the film, but like I liked their dynamic, the love interest. I liked his childhood trauma. But overall, nothing really happens. I suppose the Absorbing Man's in it, but the bad CGI doesn't really help it. I don't get why the Absorbing Man was made in his favour. I hope the Absorbing Man comes back or makes an appearance, even in She-Hulk. I think he will. But this is a non-canon MCU film. It's not MCU at all. But it's not a bad movie so much as it is average. Not much more I can say about it. However, Incredible Hulk, I quite enjoyed it. Quite liked the Hulk's design in this. I would say it's better than Iron Man 3. I'd say it's better than Iron Man. Is it better than Iron Man, the first one? I put it in between. I enjoyed the film from an aspect of he's trying to keep himself away, secluded. He is trying to make sure nobody gets to him in terms like even his blood, he's being hunted. The main villain of the film, Blonsky, who eventually becomes a super soldier himself, but his mind gets fucked by that. I'm glad it's referential to the Captain America film where he talks. The Doctor talks about how people take the super soldier serum. Their whatever their mind state is, it gets not improved, impacted. So if you're a little bit bad, that bad is increased. Hence why Red Skull is so much more evil. However, Steve is he has barely any evil, if at all. He's very worthy of the hammer. He's very worthy as a person. Hence why he's 100-fold a good person. Even more so when he becomes Captain America. But that's why Blonsky, when he becomes a super soldier, that he's a bit more fucked in the head. His duty to serve his government is increased to the point where he does stuff by himself as long as he thinks it's helping the place. He becomes Abomination, which is quite cool because of his dedication. I liked their fight at the end, the Hulk smash. For 2008, it's not as good as Iron Man CGI. It's still good CGI, I would say. He is missing his iconic hue of limest green, but I still enjoyed it. A lot of people overrate this Hulk as being, he's the best the Hulk's ever been. It's like he's good, not the best. He's good. I think Avengers Hulk's quite good. I'd say better. But this Hulk is dark and dreary, and it does explore some stuff. I'm trying to think. He doesn't really transform other than the Washington DC fight and the Harlem one, does he? I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. Where Thunderbolt Ross has to learn and accept that this abomination is an abomination and needs to be taken down, so he lets Hulk do his thing. I like that as well. Do I rank She-Hulk? Nah. I'll just start plucking random stuff now. Stuff I still haven't seen, I'll put in here. Logan. We'll talk about Logan. Whip out. Logan. Don't even need to talk about him. Favorite MCU film? One of my favorite films. Like, top 5. Logan is just amazing. Dark, gritty. Still having its funny moments. Isn't too dark in terms of saturation. It's almost apocalyptic. It isn't quite like the Old Man Logan comics where it's like proper apocalyptic, where villains are taking over countries and like Hulk's incestuous and sort of shit like that. But Logan has some great acting. Patrick Stewart is amazing in it with his I'm assuming is it dementia or Alzheimer's, but Alzheimer's. What's her name? K9, X9, X something. You know who I'm on about. The wee daughter that has Wolverine's DNA. Amazing acting from her as well. The entirety of the film is sad. The way it ends with his demise, and it's sort of like passing the torch. And I wonder what they're gonna do with her, or even Hugh Jackman, or even the character of Wolverine in the MCU. I don't care. I'd have loved to have seen a Deadpool interaction, but Logan, amazing film, absolutely amazing, great action, some twists, good suspense. You feel bad for a lot of characters, and you know it's a likable film when you're feeling for the characters themselves. Also, the trailer for it is where I first heard Johnny Cash's cover of it's a Hurt. Good, it's good. I've seen Iron Fist. Howard the Duck. He's an MCU now. Legion, I want to say. There's a lot I haven't seen. Go for the X-Men films. X-Men. Not much to speak about it. It's not like too nuanced. It's good introductions to mutants. I would say it's a good B movie. CGI hasn't aged well. I like all the characters. It doesn't have Beast or Nightcrawler like the main ones, but they appear in the next film, I think. Or is X-Men 3 appears? I don't know. Mystique's really cool. Magneto and Charles Xavier, played by Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen, they're the best part about the film, as well as Wolverine himself. Although there's some touchy bad characters like Cyclops, Jean, and Rogue. Is it Rogue or Rouge? I can't remember. I haven't seen New Mutants yet. I've seen Gifted. This list is getting bigger and bigger. X-Men 2. Is that 2? That's all 3. Where's 2? No, that is not 3. That's 2. X-Men 2, I think, is better than the first one. I quite enjoyed it. I'd maybe put an A, bottom A. Or no, I'd put it in between Ragnarok and Thor. I liked Wolverine, and a lot of it is sort of like delves into his Weapon X stuff. It has Iceman in it. It has Nightcrawler. It has a lot more villain mutants in it that are like quite cool. Like the bitch with the fucking nail claws. Her death in it is brutal. Colossus in it. I'm not saying the film is good because it's got all these characters, and I just like the dynamic of them, because like it clearly goes into the racism themes of X-Men and how Stryker just wants them gone, wants to help his child be cured and all that sort of stuff, but like absolutely is a massive fucking douche to mutants, because he's basically a racist. Basically being a racist. Haven't seen you. X-Men Last Stand, I don't even need to speak much about it. It's just E. It's bad. It is just bad. Awful, even. Character deaths that aren't needed. Much of the film has some sketchy CGI at times. Some fucking outrageous scenes like Juggernaut. I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. There are some moments where you're like, oh, that's sort of cool, but at the same time, nothing really happens in it. It's a lot of character deaths that didn't have much meaning. With after credits are like, oh, I'm not actually dead. X-Men Origins Wolverine. I'm not putting. Do I put an E just for the Deadpool thing? I put it above Last Stand. I enjoyed a majority of the film. Has some of the worst CGI. The CGI claws, Jesus Christ. I enjoyed the whole growing up with Wolverine. I enjoyed his Weapon X tribulations. I enjoyed Creed in it. Is it Creed? He's Sabretooth, isn't he? Like, their dynamic, I liked. Blob appearing, I liked. I liked Wade Wilson before he's Deadpool popping up. But the latter half of the second half is where it drops off a lot. It's just a lot of fucking nonsense. Even just like fucking Charles Xavier showing up, standing up. It's like, sorry, you're supposed to be crippled by now. Get the fuck. It's non-canon in the timeline simply for that one part. But the Deadpool thing really just puts it into E. Why the fuck would you ever make Deadpool not wear his famous suit, not have cancer, have him with no mouth? He's called the Merc with a Mouth. One of his epithets, or titles, nicknames, whatever, the Merc with the Mouth, and you as a director go, right, the Merc with the Mouth. He's now the Merc with no mouth. Fuck off. That's all I've got to say about that film. Fuck off. Wait. Oh, that's First Class. It's not Origins. I misread that. This is Origins. That was a big mistake. However, I will move on to First Class. Ironically. Because I will put it out right here that it is an S tier movie. maybe double S, depending on how I feel, but I'll put it at the top of S. Amazing film. Shows the development of Magneto and Xavier's relationship, how their dynamic initially began. The beginning scene with Eric in the place. Oh my god, what's it called? But you know, with all the Nazis, the concentration camp, the very famous one. My memory is foggy about, but it shows how his powers initially developed there, his pain he had to go through, how he's sort of got a double whammy. He's a mutant and he's a Jew, so he's got complete understanding. I would say he's even justified sometimes in his actions. Not overall justified, but justified sometimes. And you completely understand his thoughts on it. Has one of the best intense scenes in the film where there's no villains in it. It's just him going through ex-Nazis. Like, he found two of them, and it was Sweden, Switzerland, in the bar, and he's just having a conversation with them in German, and they slowly start realizing who he is. That's amazing. A lot of the X-Men being reintroduced, Beast's wanting of being normal again, to be with women because his feet look weird, and he ends up making himself look worse, and he's just got to learn to accept himself. You got Havoc being a delinquent. Saying that, the only thing I hate about this film, and I somewhat say it is inherently racist, is you cast a person of color, a black man, as Dwayne, who is known as not Dwayne, sorry, Darwin, whose whole power is he adapts to any situation no matter what. If it's a situation where he's going to die no matter how his body shifts, he teleports away. If he needs to breathe, he breathes underwater. Whatever, that sort of stuff. And they kill him off. They kill off the character whose whole fucking power is adapting to deathly situations, and they kill him off. Are you fucking stupid? That's my only complaint. Black Widow. It's a good watch. Put them on B. I would say it's greatest. Messed up Taskmaster, but not as intimidating as they are. I don't really mind that they're female, but they don't feel as intimidating as they are. The skull masks are a bit weirdly designed. Hopefully they can fix it in Thunderbolts, but I don't see much luck with that. Daredevil, I've watched only the first episode of it. I don't know what to think about it. The movie, I'll start giving some quicker reviews on movies that I remember watching but don't really care about. C tier movie, don't really care. Is that Deadpool 1 or 2? That's Deadpool 1. Deadpool 1. Fucking SS tier movie. Really funny. Ryan Reynolds really pulled off being Deadpool. A lot of good references. Has a plot that's you can follow. Makes sense. You feel sorry for what's his name, Wade. All the cast you love. Colossus, Negasonic, Teenage Warhead. The fact that I remembered that name surprises me. Really enjoyable. Francis, enjoyed it. It's the name of Ajax, the one that can't feel any pain, but it sort of has like fucking super strength as well. Enjoyed their fight. I like to think that the final fight took place in the helicarrier. Where is Deadpool 2? There. Surprisingly enough, one of the few films where I think is what is like on par with the second one, if not just a bit better. Domino, love Domino. Getting Josh Brolin back after playing Thanos to play Cable. Loved his dynamic, loved his story with his child and how he had to go back to the past to prevent things. I liked how Deadpool finally starts learning a bit more of a seriousness to his side in terms of like others and his wife after his wife dies. I think they get married, do they? I'm not sure. Just like everything about it is amazing. Until I don't think there's anything wrong with the film. It's just it's basically the same character writing, same action sequences. It felt very similar to the first Deadpool, but I enjoyed it better. I enjoyed the characters. That's all I can say. It's the same beats. Colossus was good in it. He did the voice for Colossus as well. Ryan Reynolds. That was Colossus. Fucking Juggernaut. Juggernaut's in it, and he's actually quite cool. He's cool. He's not wearing this like awesome red fucking latex fucking costume, but he's still cool. I like the New Zealander that played. I don't know what the hell his name is, but he's the Fire Kid. Just a really enjoyable film. I haven't seen Defenders. Haven't seen Cloak and Dagger. Inhumans. I know that's bad. I haven't seen Elektra. Fantastic. Same problems Thor Ragnarok, Thor Dark World had. It's not like a bad film, but it's just not memorable. It's meh. That's all I can say about it. Nothing really, like, they fucked up Doctor Doom. Fantastic Four 2. I'm ranking it before Fantastic Four 1 for some reason. I feel like it's worth it. C. It follows from the first film. You like the characters from the first film, you like the second one a bit, but like it doesn't go anywhere. They make Galactus a big massive cloud for some reason. The first Fantastic Four, I thought it was quite funny. Maybe put at the top of C tier. In fact, I'll put Fantastic Four 2 in top of D tier. But Fantastic Four, yeah, if you like the characters, you like the film. Chris Evans' first, I think, superhero role. I really think they did the costume well for the thing, actually, and I hope whatever comes from Fantastic Four in the next couple of years is better than that. Right, I haven't seen Punisher. You know what? Wolverine. Where's Wolverine? Oh, we're going the Japanese one. I actually quite enjoyed it. Definitely just him wanting to die and help a person he saved before the radiation. I like that. I liked how he's being helped by the person that brought them there. Does he not have like a love thing with the daughter as well? I'm not sure. But I quite enjoyed it. I like the wee after credit where he's been given the real costume and we never see him in the real fucking costume. He's never in a proper Wolverine costume. That pisses me off. X-Men Days of Future Past. Great film. Quicksilver. Love him. Good scene. I would say that is an S tier film. Just simply, Logan's good in it. The tense feeling of the future being destroyed if he doesn't work it out properly between the Mystique trying to kill Magneto or not. Magneto scenes in it are great with him like fucking up. Does he fuck up the Sentinels? But he sends fucking Wolverine to the bottom of the lake and fucks them up. I like how Logan's got to convince Beast and Xavier the whole shenanigans. I liked how Xavier can't use his powers anymore because of the drugs and he walks and all that. And his whole alcoholism and he's grown his hair. He's got a beard and all that sort of stuff. It just gives you the feeling of his downfall. It definitely does. But a lot of great moments in the film. I like how Logan just knows who Quicksilver is. I like how they don't just outright do the Magneto is Quicksilver's son. They don't really know it until Apocalypse. Apocalypse, like Quicksilver knows, but where is Apocalypse? I think Apocalypse is overhated. Very much overhated. It's not a fucking E tier movie. I would put it. I enjoyed it as about there. I would say it's a good B tier movie. Apocalypse himself could have been bigger, could have been more menacing. I liked how he evolves the mutants' powers to levels beyond that. That's like very anime, like, oh, their powers evolve. They're evolving. I like that. I prefer the mansion. The mansion scene is one of the best scenes in all of the comic book films, with Sweet Dreams playing. I sort of liked Cyclops in it, and Jean was alright. Nightcrawler was quite understandable. He felt a lot. I don't appreciate the highlight in his hair. But it is an overall good film, I would say. Oh yeah, Xavier goes bald in that film because of the mind shafting. I haven't seen Punisher. More Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Ghost Rider. Which one's the first one? Just out of pure enjoyment, I would put... I didn't like the first Ghost Rider that much. I would put it, like, as a C tier. And if this is the Avengers one, I actually quite like it, because he turns a fucking massive crane into a fucking Ghost Rider vehicle. It's amazing. The Spider-Man films, the first Spider-Man Sam Raimi film. I don't like Tobey Maguire as an actor, or even as that Spider-Man at all. He's a good Peter Parker, but personally, I can't get into my Spider-Man. He's too cringy. So, the Willem Dafoe, James Franco, I really like their characters. And Aunt May is really good in it. I would maybe put it at the bottom of B tier. It's an alright film, but Tobey really brings it down for me. Spider-Man 2, however, again, Tobey's a big problem, but my god, is Otto Octavius amazing in the film. Absolutely love his, like, sometimes a movie can just be made by the main villain, which is why The Dark Knight is so damn popular. Yeah, the actions and scenes in it really hold up as well. The train fight, the watchtower fight, even the very end fight, I really enjoyed it. Like, even in the first Spider-Man, there's some good action sequences. The music in it is quite iconic. Spider-Man 3 it is not as bad as I thought on my recent rewatch of it. I would put it at the bottom of B tier. I put Spider-Man. I want to put it in A tier just for all, but because Spider-Man brings himself down. I do like him losing his powers as well. It's a good dynamic. But Spider-Man 3, top of C tier, bottom of B tier, I would say. There's too much going on. Venom's been messed up in it, but he's like a whingy brat instead of like a person who feels like he's been done wrong properly because of Spider-Man. He's not muscular. But that's whatever. Like, I mind the original CGI, he was going to be muscular. I liked Sam was a good quality redeeming part of the film. So was James Franco's Hobgoblin. I think he's trying to be in that one. I don't know if it's Hobgoblin or just being Green Goblin. I like that. But overall, it was a very rushed film. Enjoyable, but rushed. It was a bit too long. And as said by Sam Raimi in a lot of the stuff, he was a bit rushed. And he was told he needs to have Venom in this film. And he needs to have Venom. Amazing Spider-Man. I've always been a massive fan of the Amazing series. It feels a lot more grounded, but at the same time feels like Spider-Man. Easy S rank. I think I enjoy it as the best of the S rank so far. I just like the Lizard a lot as a villain. I'd have preferred him if he was a little bit more barbaric until the latter half of the movie where he gets used to his intelligence. But he's still an amazing villain. I liked him. Gwen and Peter's relationship in that is just phenomenal. Much better than Mary Jane in the Raimi films. Mary Jane, Kristen Dunst, just fuck off. Nobody likes you. Fuck off. But no, I love the suit. I love the action sequences in it. The swinging it near the end with the neighborhood fucking helping him out to save the day because of the whole sequence he had saving the child on the bridge. The bridge scene's amazing. Just him saving a single person so like gently and with a phrase of like, it's okay, it's gonna be okay. Gives the child this mask to feel like empowered, and then saves him. And that same guy, the dad, is the person responsible for the cranes being lifted for him to be able to swing properly. It's just, even the music in that scene is just phenomenal. I would even be tempted to put it in the bottom of it. I just love the film. I really like it. Amazing Spider-Man 2? Where is it? I think is overhead. It is definitely not worse than Spider-Man 3. I do not get. I think it is a perfectly good A-tier film upon rewatch. Electro isn't as bad as I remember. That his design isn't too bad, but I actually quite like his theme in the song is good. His theme in the movie, the song he has is really good. The CGI in the entirety of the film is really, really good. His Spider-Man suit is the best it's been for any of the films, I would say. You really feel for the dynamic between Gwen and Peter. There's a lot of tense feelings, like Peter's PTSD from Stacy Senior dying in the first film to Gwen herself dying at the end of the film. You really feel for the character. It is a very much a Spider-Man film. He loses his loved one, he loses a part of himself. He becomes darker because of it. Hence why I think there needed to be a third film to have another love interest or something involved in his life where it continues. It brings him hope. No Way Home sort of does that, but like overall, the Green Goblin in that film, the design is awful. Like there's some like, but I did like Harry over it. I did like some of the scenes with Harry because you really feel for him. The whole his father Green Goblin thing dying like that was a bit weird. I know they couldn't just bring your man Norman Osborn back because of the first Raimi film, but at the same time you can't really bring Harry into it then because Harry's already a big fucking factor in Raimi films. You could have plucked anybody. You could have plucked Craven. Could have been the killer because of the hunt to like bait him. Could have been anybody. Could have been somebody psychotic. Could have been Mysterio. It could have been anybody. I feel like Mysterio would have worked really well in the amazing series. I really do wish it gets its third film. It would make sense for the third film, him still not having hope, having the symbiote, because it would make him his worst. It would work really well for Andrew Spider-Man. Right, Homecoming. It's a weird one. I really like Homecoming. It feels like he's Spider-Man. It feels like he's a kid learning to be Spider-Man. I do wish there was less of the whole Tony Stark thing. I get it, because that's the MCU's version, and now it's been fixed as of No Way Home. I would put it as an S-rank film. But what S-rank? I enjoyed it more than that. I enjoyed it more than Age of Ultron. Enjoyed it more. Top of S tier? Maybe. I'll put it here. Double S. Because the Vulture, menacing design, the twist in it, the music in it, it feels like a Spider-Man film. He loses things. Like, he doesn't lose them in the sense of, like, they die, but he has consequences to his actions of being responsible. He has to fight Vulture in his homemade suit because he understands he's lost his main suit. He thought everything given to him by Stark. I think there's more meaning to him losing his suit. Like, I'm everything without that suit because he believes he's been given more responsibility by Tony, and having that suit taken away that was made by Tony, entrusted by him by Tony, is having his sense of responsibility taken away. Tony feels like he's not ready or able to do things, and that's why Peter, despite not needing the suit at all, feels worthless. I enjoyed that aspect. I enjoyed how vulnerable he feels when Vulture collapses the building on top of Peter, and he's like, "Somebody help me," because he's still human. He's still inexperienced. He's a vulnerable boy. That's why I think Homecoming is my favourite of the 3 Tom Holland films. It really feels like a Spider-Man film. And if you remove Tony from the film, like, in some aspects, it probably would have been even better. They didn't even need to rehash Ben Parker in it. No Way Home, Gifted, I haven't seen Gifted. Is there anything else I haven't seen here? I haven't seen Dark Phoenix yet. Right. No Way Home. Do I think it's the best thing that ever came out? Do I think it's overrated? I do think it's a bit overrated. I don't think it's the best thing that came out. I do enjoy the interactions. The best part of the film, easily, the fact the villain's being brought in. Easy. The free Spider-Man. Easy. It did feel a bit underwhelming for what it was. It's still a double S. I definitely think it's a double S. Because Peter finally gets his identity back. He makes the mistake of making the spell happen with Doctor Strange, which is a very Spider-Man thing to happen. As intelligent as the boy is, he isn't the wisest. He is still a child going to college. He understands the consequences of his actions, but he sees an opportunity to make it right again for his friends, more so than himself as well. And that happens, and he loses everything he had with people he knew. It's one of the biggest consequences as a Spider-Man he could have gotten. A person dying on him that is bad. It is very bad. But him being forgotten by everybody, his closest friends, his family, only people that would have ever remembered him to their death were his two idols. He loved May and he loved Tony. They died remembering him. And that'll weigh in his mind. He keeps that thought to himself that he's truly now Spider-Man. He truly now has to be constantly responsible for everything around him instead of Peter Parker. So almost like a Batman situation where Bruce Wayne believes he is Batman. You really get behind that. I liked Toby coming in for the nostalgia, that's fine. I loved Andrew coming into it. Andrew feeling really accepted, almost like he's meeting his brothers more so than Tom and Toby, because he's lost everything. He's only got his Aunt May left. I loved all the villains coming back. I like Electro's new design. Doc Ock not having the red herring of is his thing going to like thingy again? He's going to go back to evil. Nope, he gets fixed. He comes and helps with Green Goblin. Green Goblin, obvious villain. I would say I enjoyed him better in that than I did the first Spider-Man. I think a lot of people would actually agree with that. Sandman was quite good. Not like he doesn't have a big like Sandman and Lizard don't have a big deal to do with the film. In fact, you'd think that this was the Sinister Six of the Spider-Man film, but no, there's only 5 of them. And even then, Doc Ock turns good. But yeah, it's a very good film. Very good. I like Doctor Strange's involvement with it. Going from a technological mentor to a fucking magical one, basically. Even though he fights Doctor Strange. Oh, that seems great. Fighting Doctor Strange. I just realised I ranked No Way Home before I ranked Far From Home. Silly me. Not much to say about it. It's a good film. I wouldn't say it's S rank. I would say it's about A. Mysterio is the best part of the film easily. Him learning how to use spider sense in a way that's pretty OP. Some of the best visuals. Him fighting Mysterio in like the illusion world. Oh damn, that was eye candy. But I liked how this film was sort of like him struggling with his love life and responsibility at the same time. It was good. It wasn't a bad film. Right. We're starting to get nitty-gritty in the TV show stuff. Right. Captain Marvel. I think it's overhated. I would say it's a good B. I would place it like here. I enjoyed her and Nick Fury's dynamic. I enjoyed her powers. Some good fight scenes in it as well. Not the best, but some good fight scenes. It was quite enjoyable as a film. Obviously, her relevance for the film coming out was because of Infinity War and Endgame. But that's what I've got to say about it. Not much else, really. It's just a good watch. Doctor Strange. I just fucking love that film. Absolutely adore that film. Triple S rank. In fact, thinking about more and more, I'd put Homecoming in SS. It truly is the most Spider-Man feeling film to me. Especially with how inexperienced he is. But Doctor Strange. Amazing film. Dickhead turned good. But I feel done better than Iron Man. Some of the best fucking sequences of CGI I've ever seen. Just absolute eye candy the entire film is. Tilda Swinton is amazing as the Ancient One. I wish I'd seen more of her. What's his name in the film? Killian? No. What's the villain's name? I always remember what the villain's name is, but you know the one that is played by Mads Mikkelsen. But as much as he doesn't feel like a major villain, doesn't feel like he's one of the best, he's still got a presence to the film. I quite liked his scenes. It's just overall a great film. The music in it, the soundtrack, it's good. Very good. It's a shame, though. A real bad shame about the sequel. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, or I would like to say Scarlet Witch in the Multiverse of Madness. Not a bad film. I will, upon rewatch and thinking about it, I'll put it as an A rank. Not the best, not the worst. Put it above there. I think Thor: Love and Thunder is written better than Multiverse of Madness. I had a lot of problems. I had a whole written thing. Let's see if I can find it. Written thing about it. Yeah, the whole list here saying storyline concept is 9 out of 10, storytelling and execution is 5 out of 10, I would say. Visuals 7 out of 10, characters 6. Yeah, the visuals in this are worse than the fucking first one. Fucking hell. The character 6.5 out of 10, fan service 8.5 out of 10. They're a lot good. Movie overall 7.2 out of 10. Thoughts on the movie, I put, generally I'm mixed with how I feel. The action and the concepts were amazing, but it felt lacking in the execution of the storytelling and most of the characters. Obviously, Steven has a character arc in the movie, yet I didn't feel connected to it, nor felt it made an impact on the story overall. With how he feels about Christine being shoehorned in, with how little I'm writing about the protagonist of the film shows how little he actually involves himself as a character and more as a plot device to further the plot, almost akin to himself in No Way Home. America is obviously a unique character, and I don't mind her. Yet her background and general involvement in the film movie feels empty and almost without much weight. When there is something shown, a brief look into the origin of her powers was all but cringy looking and seemed to happen out of coincidence alongside Steven's memory reveal. Also, why is she learning magic or trying to become a sorcerer when she has only just realised her power it can be controlled, and isn't trying to immediately find her parents? Not like she can't. Wanda is by far the most developed, and honestly the best thing about the film, despite a lot of campy and cringy mother-son moments. Her struggle feels real and sympathetic, whilst also displaying a level of no going back from her mentality, both stemming from her trauma and the Darkhold. Her end at the climax of the film feels just as she not only makes sure no one falls victim to the Darkhold again, but herself as well. This feels like an arc gone right with a satisfying end. The effects as CGI also looks off in this, seeming like it was green screen edited by someone in 2003. Like some of the characters on screen don't look like they're even there, and the CGI monsters don't even have any weight. Doctor Strange's third eye is also very badly done. That was my thoughts on the film. I felt very strongly about the film. I had a lot of expectations on it being like possibly a triple S, like an Avengers-esque stuff. And I get Sam Raimi was going for a feeling with it, but again, a lot of content was cut from it, and that's how I feel about it. It's not a bad film, as it is just what I expected. It is there. Blade, really good vampire film. In fact, I don't know what much else to say about it other than it's just a good fucking vampire film. I really like Wesley Snipes' Blade. He has a good dynamic with a female counterpart. His interactions with his mentor basically are good in the warehouse and all that, and the vampire designs that they actually fight against her have good designs. If I'm right in thinking from memory, Blade 2 is about as good. I don't know if it's better than the first, but it's about as good. I put it in the top of B. Blade Trinity, I actually don't know if I've seen it, but apparently it's very bad. I think I have seen it, but I don't remember that much. Right. Miss Marvel. Weird one. I didn't get much enjoyment out of it. I like Kamala Khan. I like her as a character. But it feels like nothing really happened in the show. There's a lot of ethnic background, yes. There's a lot of like lore in the background, but nothing really happens in the present day. There's no real ending to the fight. Yeah, she sort of fights and a misunderstood character, and that's about it. I'd put it at the bottom of B at most. It's just it's also dreadfully boring at times, and hopefully her part in the Marvels is better. In fact, no, I'll put her at the top of C. That might be a bit controversial. I know a lot of people just hate her here, but I know there's a lot of people that actually think it's like the best part of the MCU. Venom was not as bad as I thought it was going to be when I watched it. I quite enjoyed it. I would put it like here. It's a good film. CGI is not too bad. Tom Hardy's character is one of the few main characters where they don't always look good. He's sweaty, he looks ill. I like his dynamic with Venom himself. even though it's a lot more character based to his comic counterpart, where when they are Venom, they're sort of like talking together. They're more like separate characters in this, Venom and Eddie, even though they're supposed to be one and the same. Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Super excited for it because Carnage is one of my favorite characters of all time. I just like his design a lot. I'd put him there. It's not. I don't think it's as good as the first one. A lot of good action. The final fight's quite good. Cletus could have been made a little bit more crazy. That's all I can really say about it. It's just a good action film. Eternals. Eternals. From what I was hearing people say about it, I thought it was going to be terrible. But I would place it like here in B tier. Mostly because it is long. It's too long. But I do like the lore. I really like the characters. The Icarus thing was... I feel like it was obvious. I don't know why, but I feel like it was obvious. I liked the main female's character at Powers, the main woman. I really liked her powers, like transfigure fucking things and other things. A lot of good CGI in it, actually. I liked Makari. Her super speed's really cool in it. The main villain, the weird creature looking thing, weird design, doesn't really impact the film that much in terms of its personality. I do like how it's defeated. Her name's not Athena. I can't remember what her name is, but she has the weapon projection. She can like project weapons into like light matter and shit. The way she kills that thing is so cool. But Shang-Chi, a really good film. Really good. Like one of the best, like probably the best Phase 4 film. I enjoyed it a lot. A lot. Good kung fu action, Chinese like fucking, is it kung fu? That might sound wrong, but I liked Shang-Chi himself. I liked what the fuck is her name? Aquafina's character. I liked the father. He was quite intimidating. Even the main villain of the film, not really like counting the father himself, Mandarin. Like the big dragon fucking mutant thing, that looked cool as fuck, and the way they defeated that was cool. The music in it was nice. Abomination and Wong turning up was cool, and that leading into She-Hulk sort of thing was really good. It's just, I actually can't wait to rewatch it as well, because like it's just such a cool power set he has, and you don't really get to see some really well choreographed like actual martial art fight scenes in MCU much. Guardians of the Galaxy, one of the best again. Comedy based. James Gunn's really good at doing these films. Where would I place it though? I'll place it there as an SS rank. Funny. The entire group of people in the Guardians of the Galaxy themselves, they are fucking funny as fuck. I like them all. Obviously the music's good. It's 80s music, 70s music. It's fucking good. Ronan was cool, sort of cool. Yeah, I liked him with the Power Stone. I liked the whole ending with them all like sort of becoming a family by action rather than like talking. With Groot dying shortly after them grabbing each other's hands and withstanding the Power Stone for sheer will. Just a great film. CGI is really good in it as well, actually. Just looks good. Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Again, I wouldn't say it's any tier different than the first one. In fact, I enjoy Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 as much as the first one. I don't know if I can't, there's no like in between where I can be like, oh, put in the same slot. But like, I like Kurt Russell in it. Very compelling villain in terms of like he's an eternal being. You understand the way he is. Like he wants to like branch out and like take the world in his own fucking the universe in his own vision. You really feel for Peter when he learns about his mum. It's a shame about oh my god, I may not be your father. No, he may have been your father, but he wasn't your daddy. Oh my god, Michael Rooker's character, Yondu. Oh, just a great film. Again, good comedy. There's a lot of shows to be left over. I'll go into the shows in a bit. Infinity War? Infinity War. Oh, Infinity War. Amazing film. Everybody who needs to be in it is in it, apart from Hawkeye. For some reason, Hawkeye's not in it, because normally when a Hawkeye's in the films, they end up winning. But no, Infinity War is amazing. Thanos is truly an understandable and compelling villain. Like, you know he's doing it because he feels he is justified. He feels he's in the right. He's doing it for a reason. Hence, when he throws Gamora off, he is truly disheartened. And the really great way. Like, it's a great film without Thanos as well. Like, it is a good film because everybody's got their own character they're going through and what they're doing. Thor, like, going and making his new fucking weapon. You feel a struggle. Like, Tony realizing the threat's falling upon them, and you can tell he is scared. He is ready and he is serious. Cap's group is trying to, like, figure out what to do with Vision. It's always good as well. But Thanos, if you include Thanos, it's like a 10 out of 10 film. It's just amazing. And I would say the same of Endgame. And with Thanos being a different... He projects a different aura in this film, because it's less about him, like he was in the first film, trying to do good, and more him actually being a villain. He is fighting full-on with Infinity Gauntlet. He is the villain. He feels less of, like, I'm doing this for that, or more so, I'm inevitable. He's just great in it. And I like it as much as Infinity War. And, I mean, Cap wields Mjolnir. He proves Tony wrong. Tony proves Cap wrong by sacrificing himself. The whole Hulk thing, feeling like he's the one who needs to bring everybody back, that's, like, Hulk's supposed to be something that brings destruction and kills things, and he ends up being the one that brings everybody back. It's poetic. Thor's whole, like, being on the downside, like, he's now bigger, he's unhealthy, because he's fucked up, he feels like he's failed. It's so good. The orchestra scene when everybody's returning, and you hear that bum bum, bum bum, bum 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 bum, and everybody returns. It's just so... Oh, mate, I was about to fucking greet. I saw that in cinemas. Goosebumps that came off me. I've never felt a high, because it's like a culmination of over 10 years of content coming to fruition. But yeah, easy triple S tier. WandaVision, probably still one of my favorite of the shows. I put it in triple S rank. I really enjoyed it. Bottom of triple S rank. Going through so many different types of shows, it feels authentic. They put a lot of effort into showing the technical side of things. I really liked the involvement of Vision and Wanda's relationship sort of evolving. Vision slowly coming into contact with people and, like, realizing, wait a minute, something's not right. With the outside world eventually getting involved after episode 3. Like, I really like all the characters there. Is it Nancy, is that her name? Returns from the Thor series. Really like her. It's just really good. It just feels really good. The music choice in it's really good. You really feel for Scarlet Witch, even though she hasn't went through the troubles Thor has, but you understand that not everybody has the same level of mental fortitude. So she's just a broken human. She also was tortured from quite a young age. And fucked up. So it's understandable. I really enjoy that show. Really good things. Loki came out after it. Loki, surprisingly, another really good fucking show. Really worked on Loki's character. The aesthetics of the show is really good. Another triple S rank, I would say. I loved it. Ending makes so many, like, what ifs happening. I like, oh god, what's the female Loki's name called? You know, oh, she was good in it. Killing the one who remains, is that his name? Basically Kang. What If came after... No, this came after it. It was Falcon and Winter Soldier. Or did Loki come after that? I don't know. Falcon and Winter Soldier, I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. You can understand the villain motivations quite well. You feel for John Walker, even though he is clear-cut an anti-hero at that point. He even gets his redemption near the end. I would put it into double S rank at the end here. It's a good show. I think I sometimes prefer the shows over movies because it allows a lot more time to develop stuff for episodic means, even though it gets formulaic. What If? This might be just my bias talking, but I'm putting What If into triple S tier because I am a sucker, an absolute sucker for literal what if scenarios. What if Vision got Ultron's body? That was nuts. Insane. What if Doctor Strange went back in time using the time stone to be with Christine again? That went nuts. The Marvel Zombies, I loved it. I loved what if Avengers were killed? That sort of twist. You could piece it together yourself and you realised who the villain was. That was cool. A lot of the episodes were like self-contained, and that is good. It was really enjoyable. I don't get the hate. I'm not the biggest fan of the art style or the animation in it. There's some good effects used sometimes, like some of the Infinity Stones effects when they use a beam. They use 2D background effects for it with the smoke. I find that really cool. I really loved it, and I cannot wait for season 2. Hawkeye. I love Hawkeye. Lovable character, relatable character. Again, I liked it that much. I'd probably put it at the top of SSS or at the top of SS. I'll probably put it at the top of SS. It's not the best show, not the worst show. It's really good. Hawkeye and Kate Bishop. Kate Bishop's a really likable character. She's again, unlike Clint, who's experienced, she is inexperienced, hence why she keeps on fumbling, even though she's got the skills to pay the bills. You don't really enjoy that dynamic. All the fucking proper trick arrows being used, like the Pym arrow, the freeze arrow. It's just cool. Really cool. Echo is quite cool. Being a disabled character, I think she has a prosthetic leg and she's deaf, so she's like mute. She signs through sign language. Wilson Fisk appearing, amazing. Even Florence Pugh coming back to deal with her problem with Hawkeye. It's just there's a lot of like character arcs that are resolved, like him being Ronin. It's just good for the character. Moon Knight. It is beloved, absolutely beloved, and I understand it is a really good show. Do you like it more than Loki? Yeah. Do I like it more than WandaVision? Just based on what I like about WandaVision? No. But Moon Knight is really good. Really fucking good. I don't know much about Moon Knight in comic-wise, but I could piece together quite quickly what his whole deal was. Like, clearly Stephen Grant was not the original personality. There's clearly a third one. Just like, in general, the show is really good, well produced. Some iffy CGI whenever he suits up, but again, I really like the show. 5th episode being the best. A lot of the episodes, best episodes being, a lot of shows' best episodes being the ones that focus on, like, the characters themselves. Like, Falcon and Winter Soldier, one of their best episodes, literally when Sam and Bucky are just helping him with the ship and he's training with the shield again. Loki's one, sort of just him in... Actually, no, Loki's one's pretty much just the one where he meets all the other Lokis. Moon Knight's is the one where Stephen sort of learns what he is and why because of the past. WandaVision's is the Scarlet, like Wanda's fucking past being revealed properly because of Agatha and showing one of the best quotes. Like, what is grief if not love persevering? That just hits fucking hard. Absolutely hard. And for the show that's still going on, only 4 episodes that's came out, I believe. I've been loving it. Probably a top 3 show for me. It's self-contained while following a plot. It's got continuous development. People are misunderstanding our character. I would put it in just enjoyment at 3rd for the shows. Like Jen, her struggles, people misunderstanding why isn't she muscular. Like, what you've got to get about Bruce is the reason his Hulk is big and muscular is because of his trauma. Because of, like, feeling weak when he was younger, feeling small. That's why he developed a personality. Much like how Moon Knight needed, like, something to replace what he was feeling at the time. He creates the Hulk as an alternate personality. And that becomes the big, strong version of him. Hence why he's big and muscular, and he's rageful because of all the bottled up emotions he has. She-Hulk, Jen, she is a woman. Her struggles are day-to-day life as a woman. She has easy control over anger because of the amount of shit she has to deal with. Nobody's saying she's went through worse and worse. Her saying that she has had the ability to control her anger better because she has to deal with what she's living through every day. Being mistreated for being a woman, being catcalled. Like, she has to control her anger, otherwise she'll get shut down. Hulk on the run, yes. Eventually he's accepted. He's taken multiple years because he's had trauma. Something that was affecting his anger control. Something that's out with his, like, reach. And the reason why she is slim and sexy looking, longer hair, better looking hair, is because that's what she wants to be. She wants to be a sexy, powerful woman. She wants to be confident, and she always is sort of confident in her Hulk form. And that's the whole point. If she ever gets truly angry and outrageous, she might get more muscular and shit. But I've been enjoying She-Hulk. I like all the references. I love the fact that they're doing the fourth wall breaks with her, because she is one of the first characters. She did it before Deadpool. I love it. Great show. I can't wait to see where it goes. With one of the episodes leading on, showing us the Sakaar ships. Obviously, Bruce is going there, which makes me hope and pray they do World War Hulk. But alas, that's my tier list. A lot of shows I haven't seen in movies. That's fine. I don't know if I'll see Morbius anytime soon. Agent Carter, I wouldn't mind watching. I should watch more Daredevil, but I remember trying to watch it for the ages ago and I got too bored of it. It's a fan favourite, and I'm just sort of like, I think even if I did watch all of it, I'd probably only put an A or like an A tier, maybe a B tier, which was controversial. It's controversial. That was my list, and I'll probably be doing a DC one. I don't know if that will involve like DC shows as well. I mean, even the animated shows. But that's my list, and thank you for watching and listening to my opinions on each and everything. Hopefully I explained well enough why I put each in each spot, and why some are too low, and why I think some are overrated, or blah blah blah. But hopefully I'll see you for the next tier list. Bye bye.